people probably wonder why I call myself a clown and all that shit. Like back in the day, like around here, when you say somebody was a clown, like back in the 90s and all that shit or whatever, like the late 90s, all that shit, that nigga, he a clown, he clowned. That wasn't like a term used to talk down about nobody. Saying somebody was a clown, like back then, it meant them niggas was fucking, they didn't give a shit. They ain't give a fuck. They was about whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they was a fool with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they was nuts. They was, you know what I'm saying? They didn't give a shit about what nobody thought. They was with whatever you was with. That was, when you say somebody was clowning or somebody be clowned or somebody was a clown, that's what it meant here. When I say clown life, nigga, that's what I mean. A lot of people done seen me hashtag clown life, nigga, that's what I mean. But I still did my own thing. I didn't give a fuck about if you thought I should do certain things or what you thought about what I did. And that wasn't gonna make me change what I was doing. I was still gonna push forward. I was still gonna be me. I was probably still gonna have a temper. I was still gonna make these crazy ass songs. I was still gonna make these crazy ass beats. I was still gonna do shit that was outside of the box, nigga. Clown with a K. Hope that explains that.
Right now is a true Hollywood story. The first 15 years of Green-Eyed Joker's life. Wanna know how I got these scars?
We're not gonna discuss the fact that I'm out here looking like a fat ass basketball ninja. God damn. For me, that's how the shit started. Like, I was probably like in the, I don't know, shit, probably like the 4th grade. I was on my way to school one morning. And I spit that shit like for the people that was on the little bus with me or whatever, like the other little kids and shit. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see. It was 2 verses, like 2 verses that I had written in my head. None of that shit ever touched paper. I lived all over North Dallas or whatever, but Hamilton Park raised me, so I mean that's what that is. We were like 4 houses deep with family in Hamilton Park. You know what I'm saying? I had like a lot of family out there, so. I had the best of both worlds, man. I'd never sit up there and be like, oh man, I came from absolutely nothing. You know, I came from, you know what I'm saying? I never put myself, I had the best of both worlds. My dad didn't have shit. He didn't hardly have no money. One half of my family didn't have no money. And the other half, you know, I had my grandmother and grandfather, they made some good money. Even though me and my dad was always broke and shit like that, they, you know, my grandmother spoiled me. You know what I'm saying? It was just me and my dad. We was the ones living in the hood and in the fucked up ass areas over there off of Overton and all that shit in the cliff and all that. Over there off of Ferguson and shit. You know, getting outdoors and shit kicked in. My dad got his car stolen. They found it down the street by the damn Sonic and shit. I lived a conflicting life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of shit that happened in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to anything that I've done, you know what I'm saying, you would know about my mother being murdered, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. When I was 12. I think music and all that shit was probably also kind of a therapy for me, outlet, you know what I'm saying, for me. But I never sit there and be like, oh man, I had to sleep on the floor and, you know what I'm saying, yeah, I had to, you know what I'm saying, we done had times where it was, you know, rats running through our kitchen and all that type of shit when I was a baby. And all that type of shit, but I'm not gonna just focus on that. I would never just focus on that because that's not all there was to my life, man. I had 2 worlds that I lived, kind of. Music, period, wasn't never really my main goal. It was always drawing. Anybody that knew me knew that I could draw. That was kind of what I was known for. It wasn't until about the 6th grade that I started really thinking that I could actually rap, like for real if I wanted to. Remember the niggas used to be standing around in a circle rapping and shit, and I used to be part of the circle, but I would never go. Be like, go ahead, rap, Wallace, go ahead, rap, Wallace. I did like this shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't, you know, I don't think I was necessarily scared to rap. I just didn't, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to everybody else soaking up everything, but I had dope. I was a class clown all through school. Wasn't shy in class, wasn't shy. at school really like that. But I was a class clown all through school. I ain't gonna lie, I used to be shy when it came to females. Like, through elementary and all that shit. Even in junior high, I was shy when it came to females, you know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't be able to tell that shit now. You know what I'm saying? I always had a girlfriend, but I was always, you know, I was always a little bit shy when it came to females, like back when I was little, when I was younger. I was pretty notorious for getting into it with teachers and making teachers cry, and it wasn't on purpose. It was just, I was just mischievous and shit. Class clown, always doing some shit. However, I wouldn't even say I was always just trying to entertain myself. You know what I'm saying? That's mainly what it was. It was like I was always trying to keep myself from being bored. And so, from trying to keep myself from being bored, you know, I was entertaining the class and pissing the teachers off. You know what I'm saying? So, the whole class clown thing, and that shit was real. You know what I'm saying? That was a real issue of mine. They kept me in the principal's office a lot. They kept calling my dad about that shit a lot. But I was a pretty good kid outside of all of that. You know what I'm saying? I was cool. You know, I was real sneaky. I just did sneaky shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to take shit to the extreme all the time. Like my imagination used to be so damn wild. So I was always taking shit to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? Like any games that we played, I always had to one up what everybody else was doing. That's always been my mentality. My mentality has always been to just one up everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like take what they're doing and then twist it and twist it into my favor. So yeah, you can pretty much realize if you ever heard any of my music, you pretty much know that my style and my sense of humor about shit is pretty damn outrageous. And so me and my cousin, King Supreme, we were always doing like little mixtapes and stuff when we were like little kids, like in elementary. Like we were doing that shit before it was cool. Like we were just, I remember we had like a Casio keyboard. My dad had got it from my aunt, so I started using it. And it just had like a whole bunch of pre-recorded, you know, back in the day, it had a whole bunch of pre-recorded beats on the Casio. So we would just go in there and we used to be rapping and singing over all these like little beats and shit that was on the keyboard, like all these little pre-recorded songs that was on there. And we would make cassette tapes like all the time. We called ourselves WVAB, and we were just doing that shit just really for us, you know what I'm saying, for our listening, you know, for our listening pleasure, pretty much. No, it was never supposed to be something that we did for anybody else. It was like an inside thing, like an inside joke type of thing. Like we would just make the dumbest songs we could possibly think of to make. And, you know, so that's what we used to do, like a lot. Yeah, so I probably made my first beat when I was like 11 years old. I remember I was like just messing around with my dad's beat machine, and I think he was like, I don't know, I did something. I was you know, just messing around with it, made this beat. It's like I put, this shit was crazy, but it's like I had put every instrument that I could possibly put in that bitch. I had put it in that one beat. Every instrument that I could find on the damn beat machine, I was, you know, putting it in there. And I had never really used no beat machine before. I ain't never did none of that. Like I said, this is at like 11 years old. Yeah, that I always been kind of good with it. But, you know, so I had the beat. And I let my dad, Dad, listen to this. And he listened to the beat. And he pulled out his bass guitar because he played bass guitar. I had like my little tape recorder. You know what I'm saying? And I recorded my dad playing the bass to my beat or whatever. And I remember being impressed as hell, like, damn, man, like, that was the first time I ever heard something that sounded like a complete produced song put together that, you know what I'm saying, that had something to do with beat, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made a beat and somebody played some actual music over it. that was probably the first song that I can say that I guess I produced, or the first beat I produced or whatever, and was doing it ever since. But I wasn't doing it heavily. I didn't really start like just cranking out beats until I got into high school. My dad had bought a Roland XP50, right? And he was using it, you know what I'm saying? My dad was always, he used to be in the studio. He used to be at his friend's house, and we had a lot of friends, and my dad had a lot of friends that was in the music. Like most of the people that he was around a lot of the time, they were music people, they were musicians and engineers and people like that. So singers and shit. So I was around that shit all my life. You know what I'm talking about? I was always around that. My dad, he recorded some songs on tape or whatever, and his thing, he was going around letting everybody hear it and all this shit. And I used to always be impressed, like, damn, man, you got a song, you going around letting people hear it. You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. Now, mind you, all I had did from, up until this point was mess with the little beat machine that he had. That's all I ever did up to this point. You know what I'm saying? So I would always say, hey man, I would play with the keyboard, like, hey, put it on the drums for me. Put it to where I can get on the drums. So he'll mess with the settings and then put it to where I can get on the drums. So I'd be making beats. You know what I'm saying? And I got better at just making beats, you know what I'm saying, with the drum kits and all that type of stuff. That's all I wanted to do was mess with the drum kits on there. I ain't mess with nothing else. You know what I'm talking about? So then he got to a point to where I was like, all right, shit, I'm finna start making some real beats. And then I'm just gonna have my dad come back and then play whatever keys I want to play. So I would make a beat and then I would call my dad and be like, hey, I would go to my dad's room and be like, hey man, can you play such and such for me? And at first he was like, yeah, all right. And I would hum to him what I wanted him to play over the beat. You know what I'm saying? I would do it with my mouth or whatever. And so then he would play that. You know what I'm saying? And, he took his time, did it, blah, blah, blah. All the little musical parts. Then he would go. But then this became like an everyday damn thing. So it didn't make no difference what time of night it was, what time of day. If my dad was at the house while I was making a beat, hey dad, I need you to come play this. And finally he was like, God damn, man. He started getting, I guess he's trying to get frustrated with me because I'm asking him to come play this. Like, yes, man, you do music, come on. I wasn't thinking that he didn't feel like doing that shit every damn hour of the day. Like, this was probably, I may have been like 15 or 16 at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I was already, at this point, I was good at making beats. Like, I was good at making actual drum patterns. But at this point, I was not playing any kind of keys. I wasn't doing nothing like that. Not at this point. Like, I used to probably mess around with it, but I never played any keys that I would consider good enough for me. My dad eventually like, damn, why don't you just play shit piece by piece? Just put it together. You ain't gotta be no keyboardist, you ain't gotta be none of that shit. Just put the shit together. Do it piece by piece. So eventually, my dad finally said, no, I'm tired of getting up at night out of my bed to come play shit for you over your beat. When he basically said that, I was mad as hell. Like, I was mad, like, damn, man, what am I supposed to do now? But I took his advice and started putting shit together piece by piece. And then from doing that helped me to learn how to actually play some keys a little bit or whatever. I'm still not on no Beethoven type shit or whatever, but I mean, whatever. I was able to start actually putting songs together. I'm glad my dad did that. I'm glad he did, because once he did that, my shit sounded better when I did everything versus when I did some things and then he did the other shit. Like, it sounded way better because I was able to throw more stuff. I knew what extra shit I wanted to put on top of my beat. You know what I'm saying? So when he told me to do that, then I was off and running. On that, I was off and running with the production at that point. At that point, it wasn't gonna be no stopping me, because that was more fun to me than actually rapping at that point. Back then, if you was trash, dog, you heard about it, and that made you stop rapping. That's what I'm saying. In school, like in junior high, like I said, it was a circle of us rapping, but it wasn't a whole lot of niggas in junior high rapping. You didn't see, it was a handful of us that was actually rapping. I mean, literally a handful, like that same circle of dudes that you would see out there in front of Forest Meadow in the morning rapping. It was only like about 5 or 6 of us, if that. I was probably the only nigga, like I said, in the circle that wasn't rapping, that wasn't actually spitting when they was telling me to go. But I was pretty much one of the coldest niggas out in that circle. They didn't know it. They didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, maybe subconsciously, I didn't know that shit either. I don't know. I was really focused on the music stuff because people had started kind of, you know, hearing me rap. Back then, people was like, oh, that's Twister. He look like Twister. He be rapping fast and all that. Cause that's what I was doing. Like back in the day, if you didn't rap fast, I wasn't listening to your shit, man. I wasn't jamming your shit. You wasn't rapping fast. So back in the day, it was Bone Thugs and Harmony and Crucial Conflict and Twister. So anybody that was just on that type of shit. And it wasn't until Master P dropped that True album. That's when I started listening to rappers that rap slow. He was the one that made me stop listening to just one type of rapper. You know what I'm saying? So I'm moving up in high school, you know what I'm saying? And all I'm doing is making beats and drawing. I'm making beats and drawing. I'm just doing a lot of that type of shit. And I'm putting like all my beats and shit, I'm putting it all like on cassette tapes. I'm recording all my beats and shit. So by the time I hit 17, you know what I'm saying? Then that's when I started trying to bring other niggas onto what I was doing, or linking up with other niggas or whatever. They got my cousin we started doing some real songs and shit. And I was real big on just people just being, I loved having a variety of type, like a different variety of rappers on my shit. So I was real big on that. Like, bring whatever you bring to the table. Bring that shit. I'm gonna try to bring, I'm gonna try to help you, you know what I'm saying, really spit to your best ability, but bring whatever you bring to the table. That's cool. So me and my cousin, we pretty much linked up, and we formed the Killer Clowns, the Killer Clown clique. I used to call it the Black KKK, but yeah, we formed that little group. And at that point, it was just like me and him were just making random ass songs. Then I linked up with my homegirl, Shortay, and I called her. I had a song called Ice Cream Truck. I made like about 3 or 4 different versions of this song, Ice Cream Truck. So I called her the first lady of the Ice Cream Truck. That was my dog from way back, at least my senior year. I think it's when I met her. And we just met at work. And I heard her rap, and I'm like, oh, she cold. And she was like, it was kind of like me and her had like a little competition. We was, it was like an underlying rivalry, but we was a clique though. And so I started, linking up with like just, other local niggas that was trying to, just some homeboys and shit. And, created like little different groups. It was like every time I got a group together, it would splinter. It would break apart. And I ended up linking up with some other dudes, and then that group would splinter and break apart. Then link up with another group of dudes, and then that would splinter and break apart. Once I decided that I wasn't gonna be able to be in no group, I realized that I needed to set myself apart from everybody else. I realized that was an important part of me being Joker. You know what I'm talking about? So I was like, all right. I had a few rules for myself. And this was all in an effort to set me apart. I used to try to, try to dress kind of flashy or whatever. I was a dude, and I would have like the rings and shit, especially after I graduated. I would have like multiple rings, bracelet, watch, 2 chains. I'm not saying I was the first one to wear 2 chains and shit, but that's what I was doing. I would have like all that flashy ass shit, and at one point I had like 3 holes in each ear. Like I was just really old sparkly ass type nigga. It was fucking weird, bro. Like back in my jean jacket days and shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just being extra sparkly and shit. But a few rules that I had for myself. My number one rule, be different. Do whatever you can to stand apart. You know what I'm saying? Just be your own person. The second rule, don't jump on songs talking about money. Don't be talking about how rich you are and all that old goofy ass shit. A lot of niggas was doing that back then. That was the play. That was the move back then, was to just pretend like you was rich. So I told myself that I wouldn't do that. And in fact, I actually made a song called Broke This Nigga on the Block. Cause I thought it was funny. I said, shit, let me make an anti-rich song. Let me make an anti-baller song. Because all you was hearing was baller shit. And I'm like, man, let me make something that's different. So I made Broke This Nigga on the Block. Hilarious song. Dope ass beat. My other rule that I had was don't jump on songs saying that you did some shit that you didn't do. Like as far as I was more specific with this. It had that I couldn't be on the song rapping about going to prison or being in and out of prison. You wasn't gonna find me rapping on songs about being the biggest dope dealer in Dallas and shit. You wasn't gonna hear me do none of that shit if I, on one of my projects. However, before I actually started trying to work on a project, I was rapping about all kind of shit like that. I wasn't rapping about being in and out of prison, no shit like that, but I was rapping about all kind of shit, like being rich and all that shit. I was doing that, you may have heard me on a verse on somebody else's shit, you know what I'm saying, way before, when I was younger, like younger. But once I started hitting, a certain age, 19, 20, I wasn't rapping about no shit like that. Before I started working on my own personal shit, I was gonna follow the rules that I set for myself. You know what I'm saying? Those were my major rules for myself. Period. You know what I'm saying? I did my little dirt. I talk about whatever dirt I did. I talk about that in my songs, but I wasn't fabricating a bunch of shit in my songs, man. I didn't feel like, like for instance, a lot of rappers would talk about the cars they have, but then I'm talking about local rappers, and you would drive by and be seeing them niggas at the bus stop and they waiting on dark. Now, anybody that actually knew me and then actually knew like what I actually had, like in every song that I talked about a car, outside of when I be talking about the ice cream trucks and short yellow buses and shit. But any car that I mentioned was a car that I actually had. I didn't mention no flashy ass cars. You know what I'm talking about? I used to rap about my Honda Civic. I used to rap about my Mitsubishi, and I rapped about my Impala. Those are the cars that you usually hear featured in my songs. You know what I'm saying? Like facts. Ask anybody that know me and doesn't listen to my songs. Those are the cars you usually hear featured. You know what I'm talking about? So I didn't like to do a whole lot of embellishing on shit. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't do a whole lot of flexing. The only time you heard me flex, I didn't flex on materialistic shit. I flexed on my rap skills. I will flex on you, you know what I'm saying, talking about that shit. I do that. I do that almost like no other. You feel me? Like for real. That's one of my favorite topics to talk about. Is how I can really, if I want to, wrap circles around you niggas. So that's my favorite thing to really rap about. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was always my thing, man. So I had those rules set in place. At that point, I said, boom, this is what it's gonna be. My first album, my first project I work on is gonna be called Welcome to the Circus, because I knew that I was gonna be different. I knew that my beats were crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I was cold with the beats. Like, just gonna be honest. I was cold with the beats. You know what I'm saying? Niggas around the way, you know what I'm saying, was trying to get beats from me and shit. So I was stealing the beats and shit, just whatever. I wasn't paying that. I wasn't even tripping. If you happen to run across a tape that I left at somebody's house and they had one of my beats on it, I wasn't tripping, man. You got them couple of beats or whatever, man. I was cranking out beats daily. Wasn't shit. And then every time I made a beat, it was better than the last one. So like, you got some old trash ass beat. If you got a tape and you didn't hear me rapping over the beat, shit, then that was a throwaway anyway. It's like real nigga shit. Like, I was cold blooded with them beats. I was a kid. It's like the crazy thing about it. I really feel like music kind of saved my life in a way. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, because I was so focused on it. Like around the age of 17, I was so focused on on doing music. I had just, graduated and all that shit. And I tell you, like, right after graduation, like, on the cool, like, that shit was crazy. Like, I stayed in some shit. Yeah, between that age of 18 and 20, well, I stayed in shit. Like, it's like, it was just issue after issue after issue. You know what I'm saying? Just drama out the ass. Like, I was always doing some shit. Like, I was stealing a lot. I don't know why I started doing that shit. Like, but I was like stealing to eat. That I didn't want to ask nobody for no money. I didn't want to ask my dad for no money and shit like that. So, I mean, I wasn't homeless, but I was just stealing just to eat something for that day. You know what I'm saying? I'd be stealing shit out of stores all the time. I was constantly getting into beefs with people. Like, either it'd be me and some other niggas, it'd be me and niggas I was kicking it with beefing with some other niggas, or it'd be me beefing with somebody solo. I'm constantly beefing with somebody. A lot of time I was beefing with niggas I didn't even know. Somebody else, somewhere else that I did know, being messy, was talking shit, and then some nigga I didn't know come and approach me about some goofy shit, and I wasn't no runner. That's one thing you ain't gonna never hear about me. Like, some niggas chasing me down the street. You ain't never heard that shit about me. So I was constantly into some shit. I was taking up for homeboys and shit, jumping in beef that didn't have nothing to do with me. And I ended up being the main nigga in the beef, you know what I'm saying? Just off the strength of that. I was constantly in some shit. I started kicking it with some Jamaicans. They were the coolest people I ever met. But and they were family, you know what I'm saying? They were real cool. The apartments I used to be in all the time, they were real cool, coolest people I ever met. But of course, they did they dirt. And they had their way. I'm a young kid, me and a couple of my other homeboys, they pulled us into some of the shit that they were doing, had me out there doing some shit. I had my times where riding around with other niggas, riding around in stolen cars and shit like that. I was kicking it with these. They was basically jack boys at this point. I was kicking it with them niggas real strong, riding around with them. I probably really kicked it with them as far as on that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? A few times. And I remember one night we riding around like 2 or 3 cars deep, and then they were in a car in front of me. I'm in another car behind them. It was a few of us. It was probably like about probably about 8 or 9 of us all together. 2 cars deep. And I remember, you know what I'm saying, it was cold and shit outside, and then they jacked this one boy, took his jacket from him and all that shit, his wallet, all that shit. Like, just, pointing the gun out the car. Took his shit, left him out there in the cold without his jacket. It was at that point that I realized, all right, so I need to chill out. This ain't the move, because I always felt like jack boys are pretty much the lowest form of creature in the hood. Nigga, that's what I've always felt like. I feel like, nigga, if you can't get some shit on your own, you know what I'm saying, so you gonna take it from somebody else, I always felt like that was a form of hating. That was always what I felt like. So I was always into some shit. I did plenty of dirt, a lot of shit that people don't even know, a lot of shit that family members don't know. But the thing was, I never did any of that shit full time, because I was so focused on trying to draw and do music that I think a lot of that, my creativity saved my life, man. I mean, I'm just gonna put it to you this way. I'm real lucky I didn't go to the pen for some of the shit I did. And it's funny, the same niggas I was riding around with that was going around jacking people, riding around in a stolen car, probably a week after I stopped riding around with them, I stopped kicking it with them, they got pulled over by the laws, got caught with that car. So yeah. The Lord was looking out for you, boy, man. He wanted me to do something else. You know what I'm saying? So it was dumb, because like I said, when a nigga be like, hey, say Wallace, whatever, or say I'm getting into beef with such and such, they hit me up there, I'm like, I feel obligated to be there, even though that shit had nothing to do with me. I could lose my life over the shit, you know what I'm saying? But I felt obligated to be there. It was almost like, I think I felt like, shit, I'm light skinned and shit, old green-eyed ass pretty nigga, I got something to prove, so I gotta go. I gotta do this shit. If I was dark skinned, I'd be like, man, shit, fucking. That was kind of like my mentality. That shit was dumb as fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? So it made me do dumb shit. And then plus, I was a hothead, you know what I'm saying? I got pissed off. I'm still a hothead, bro, and I'm working on that shit daily. But as a teenager and shit, my late teenager, I was a hothead, nigga. I was, you know what I'm saying? It had been times where my homeboy would be like, nah, fool, Joker, let's leave it alone. I'm like, nah, fuck them niggas, dog. it's like I had some shit to prove to myself. It wasn't even to nobody else. That's the crazy part. It's like I felt like I needed to prove something to myself, all because I was the pretty nigga. And it was like, I'm the nigga, you know what I'm saying, that was with the smoke, and all my dark-skinned partners, they was the ones trying to calm me down. Say, Joker, just chill. Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was time, nigga, it was times I'm beefing. I don't even have no pistol. I know the niggas that I'm beefing with got a pistol. I know the niggas that I'm with got a pistol. They or got something, some kind, they got weaponry. I didn't have shit. I may not have had nothing at that time. I remember a specific incident when this happened. And I'm still like, fuck it, nigga, I'm with it. That's crazy. Even when I thought back about it, I was like, man, that was dumb as fuck. What did I, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple of times when that shit happened. I know damn well these other niggas are strapped up, but I'm so stupid acting. I was so stupid acting that I still was trying to beef with it. I'm still trying to go, shit, nigga, that's me, wherever you talking about being. I know you know what I'm saying? I'm still talking crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? It was really finna, you know, it was really about that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about me trying to be no, I wasn't trying to be no gangster. I was just me. I hated calling myself a thug or a gangster. That was another one of my rules. I never wanted to call myself that shit in my songs either. Because everybody was doing that shit. So I started switching up the word gangster with clownster and all that shit. Cause I knew ain't nobody gonna call themselves that shit. I won't be the only nigga calling myself a clownster. Then fucked around and got it tatted on my arm and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was serious about being different and separating myself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was on some real dumb shit. Like a lot of issues and beefs that I involved myself in, I could have easily avoided if I just wasn't so short-tempered, man. I have a short-ass fuse, and you know what I'm saying? I just can't let anybody just talk to me crazy. And I wasn't good at walking away. I didn't really have my own identity as far as my delivery in my raps. I didn't really have my own identity. I didn't have no set song identity of how I was gonna rap. Like I still sounded different from everybody else that was in my city, but I didn't really, you know, I didn't have anything solid like, okay, this is my style for sure. I was always just kind of experimenting with shit. You know what I'm talking about? And I remember I was at the studio. I was at Rick's studio with Doze, and I had a song that I had recorded on cassette tape, and I was just like playing it on the loudspeakers or whatever. And Rich happened to be, he walked in there, and he was like, "Is that UGK?" And I felt some kind of way. See, this is the dumb part about that whole, the dumb part about me feeling any kind of way is that ever since I had started trying to rap seriously, I tried my best to sound like Pimp C. You know what I'm saying? Like at this time I was trying my best to sound like Pimp C, and then when somebody actually thought I was playing a UGK song when I was actually playing my song, I felt some kind of way about that. So I was like, no, this ain't no damn UGK song, that's me. You know, oh shit, that sound like Pimp C. And from that point on, I said, all right, I gotta find my own style. This ain't it. I gotta find my own style. Like, I can't sit up and set up rules for myself to be different. But I'm sounding like my idol. I'm sounding like one of my idols. You know what I'm saying? And I was listening to UGK and shit like that real strong. Like literally. I was making my beats like Pimp C, and I was rapping like Pimp C. So then, that's when I changed it up, flipped it on everybody. And that's when Joker was born, like the real Joker, as you know him today. I started working on my first solo project. I never wanted to be solo. Still to this day, I be trying to get niggas together. Like, come on, man, let's do a group, a joint venture, a joint thing, a joint album, mixtape, or something like that. Like, still to this day, I be trying to do some group shit. I can't never get niggas on the same page, but one day. I mean, at this point, I was getting ready to do Welcome to the Circus or whatever. And then I had another partner that was in the studio with us, Doze. He was a producer / rapper. All like he put me on like a lot of his shit. Like, every time I look around when he done made a beat, he trying to get me to jump on the beat. Like it was crazy. Like so that's the reason why if you listen to his project from back in the day, the Dobato project, like I'm on like probably half or more than half of the songs on the CD. Bro, it was a lot of real spitters on that album, man. It's a verse on that album where I was rapping about money. Like I said, I didn't rap about none of that shit on my albums or any project I did. But that's probably the last album you gonna hear me rapping on, that me talking about money on that bitch. Unless I just become rich on some real shit. I remember one day my manager had hit me up and told me, he was like, "Say, Joker, I got these young dudes that are around your age, because before this point, I was like the baby out of everybody that was coming to the studio. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a 19-year-old kid pretty much, and it was a bunch of like older dudes there that had been doing, had put out cassettes and had put out CDs and all this shit already around the city. You know what I'm saying? I had put out shit. So he was telling me, like, yeah, I got these young dudes that are around your age, Joker. I feel like since you're around their age, and because of the type of music that I've heard you do, I feel like your style would fit them better. I like cool. Who are these dudes? You're like, it's like about 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? They call themselves the Young Dragons or whatever. I said, the Young Dragons? I'm like, I remember that was my first thought, like the Young Dragons. And I really wasn't sure what to expect, because once again, I was a hothead, so I'm automatically thinking, yeah, shit, niggas better not be on no hoe shit. You know, I'm already on some old goof ass shit, like, you know, already. You know what I'm saying? Like before I should even be on some shit like that. But I met them, niggas was cool as hell, super cool. Like me and them dudes became tight instantly. Like instantly. Like it was like, there was no denying it. You could tell, you know what I'm saying, that they had something. You know what I'm saying? They actually had a concept. That was the thing that shocked me. It was crazy because they had their group name, the Young Drags, and then each of them had like dragon names and shit. Shit was crazy. Like it was dope to me. I thought this shit was cool. Like once they actually met them and they told me what they went by and all this shit, I was like, man, that shit is cool. First day we got in the studio, first day I met them, and I was like, man, let me make a beat. Went over and I made a beat in approximately, I don't know, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, baby. I don't even know if it was that long. I made a beat just like that. They jumped on it. That shit was so damn lit, bro. Like that was a crunk ass song. Then they asked us to jump. They asked me to jump on it. So I jump on and spit my verse. You know what I'm saying? So the song was called What Y'all Wanna Do. And that was the beginning of my relationship with them boys. The thing about working with me in the studio is I'm a perfectionist. The deal that me and Rich had made, I could record for free as much as I wanted, as long as I ran some of the studio sessions. You feel what I'm saying? That was the deal. And at first I was like, damn, I don't want to do that. Once again, I'm glad that Richard told me to do that. I think it was the best thing he could have did, because it taught me, first of all, it taught me how to engineer, you know what I'm saying, at least the basics. It taught me that, you know what I'm saying, it taught me work ethic, because everything that I did, I recorded myself. That's probably only one song out of all the songs that I've ever recorded that was recorded by somebody else. Like out of all of my songs that I ever recorded, only one song was recorded by somebody else that somebody else engineered. Like I engineered all of my sessions. Every song I recorded, I ran in and out the booth. I ran to the booth and I ran to the console. Ran to the booth, that's how I recorded everything ever. Like all 3 projects that I worked on, that's how I recorded it. By myself. If you work with me, you know what I'm saying, the one thing you know about me is that if I'm engineering your session, bro, I'm not finna just let you go in there and rap and just spit any old thing, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Any nigga that I was running a session, don't ask me how was that after you done spit your verse. Don't ask me. I don't be like, I think you can do better. It was boot camp with me, bro. Like I'm such a perfectionist, because I used to go into, man, when I record stuff, bro, especially back then, I used to go into the booth maybe like 20 times before I got a track, before I got it the way I wanted it. I used to go in that bitch back and forth about 20 times, be sweating like a pig, going in and out of the hot box, until I got that shit the way I wanted. I didn't believe in that one take shit, and you know, no matter how it sound, fuck it, keep it. You know, I ain't believe in that, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? The boys that recorded me, they'll tell you. They will tell you this is absolute facts. Like shit, Joker used to come in that bitch with a big ass jug of juice to the studio all the time because I knew that my voice was gonna be gone. My voice almost gone now. You know what I'm saying? I knew my voice was gonna be almost gone, bro. I had to bring a jug of juice in every studio session that I had. If I was gonna record, yeah. Even if I was just in that bitch just to drop a bunch of beats, I still brought juice, just in case I wanted to rap. You know what I'm saying? If you was gonna be in that bitch, I was gonna bring the best out of you. I was gonna make sure that you spit the best shit that you could possibly spit. Whatever verse you brought in there, I was gonna make sure that you spit that bitch the way you're supposed to spit it. You know what I'm saying? I think it was boot camp, but we turned out some tight ass songs with that shit though. You know what I'm saying? Them songs were tough than motherfucker, like for real. So I do Welcome to the Circus, man, and that shit was crazy. I'd be halfway done with the album, then the computer would crash at the studio. Then I had to start over, re-record those songs, but I would re-record them better. I would re-record them in a different way. I would add something new to it. Computer would crash again. Half the album wiped out. I would get almost done with the album at one point. Computer crash again. Whole album wiped out. Start over. Like this shit happened multiple times. The computer probably crashed on my ass and wiped out my album. Shit, damn near a dozen times. And I just was resilient. And just was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna keep on. I'm gonna finish this. Like I was dead set. I had already told myself I was gonna put together 3 projects. I was gonna do a trilogy. And for some reason, boy, it like Welcome to the Circus, it was almost not even supposed to happen. I was doing the craziest stuff on Welcome to the Circus. Like I was talking about the craziest stuff. I was just on some real throw shit. Like everything on there just was thrown. Like I was being completely myself. I had a song on there called Short Yellow Bus Boy, and I just talked about the most retarded shit on there, and that was pretty much how I jumped the album off.
When I spit into the mic, something magical happens. All of a sudden I'm Killer Clown. Not while it's Tremaine bragging. That nigga that's known for slacking, he ain't slacking no more. They say my style is a gimmick, so I'm gonna settle the score. And I'm gonna start with this hoe, the one I tried to holler at. She running me out in front of her friends, talking about that boy too fat. Oh bitch, no you didn't. Talking down is forbidden. No kidding, probably ain't worth hitting. So you need to be splitting. I heard your Gucci stretched out, I wouldn't know what to do. I have to poke you with the dick and put my bones in too. Now all of a sudden we on the same damn page. You come into my shows throwing your panties on the stage. Smelling like salami, pastrami, pepperoni sandwiches, bologna spam, pickled Vienna, sloppy Joe sandwiches. I can't believe she threw her drawers in my face. She probably spreading yeast infections all over the place.
I remember it was one day I had went to the movies and I went to go see King Kong early 2000s. And I was like so impressed by the damn movie, bro. I was like, man, I went home and made a beat based off of the movie King Kong. And I'm making that beat and I'm like, what is that beat got so much energy in it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like crazy as hell. Like that shit was like super lit. Like that shit was like had so much energy in it. So it was like one of them, like I said, it was the crunk period. So I was real big on crunk music. That song was crunk as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Called the song Get Big. And I remember, you know, a dude from the city, Accomplice, some people know. I had featured on a couple of songs on his album. I think before he had jumped on Get Big, I asked him to get on it. And I remember I played him the beat and he heard the intro. The intro sounds goofy as hell. Like it sounds like you in like a nigga that can't sing, sitting in the middle of a garden singing his birds chirping and shit, and if a flute playing. It sounds nothing like what the song ends up being. You know what I'm saying? He was like, bro, you really gonna start the song off like that? I said, yes. I'm gonna start the song. And the minute that he let me know that he felt like that shit was retarded, he didn't say it, but in his actions and what he did say, he let me know that was a retarded ass way to start a song like that. The minute he let me know that, the minute I realized that was the minute that I knew that I should start a song like that.
Ooh, it's time to get big. It's time to spread the wind, yeah. You better tuck your chain in your shirt. You gonna get hurt. Somebody gonna get beat up, yeah. sorry about that, y'all. I couldn't afford to get Genuine to sing on my song, so I had to do it myself. I couldn't afford no producer to make me no beats, so I had to learn how to make my own damn beats. Damn. But anyway, it's your boy Green Eyed Joker, the new clown on the block. Y'all finna recognize Dallas, dog. That goes out to all y'all out-of-towners. You know what I'm talking about? Don't underestimate the little people, because the little people are the most dangerous people. Yeah, bro. You don't want me to get big. 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 Bitch, nigga, get big. Bitch, nigga, get big. Bitch, nigga, get big. Bitch, nigga, get big. They get a load of me. I'm as nutty as can be. Peeping through your window, hanging by my dick from a tree. Trying to think of a way to stab you with a gun and shoot you with a knife. I've been riding short yellow buses my whole life. Oh, you think I'm fake? I'm being real with your pussy. I got something that'll hit your bitch and roll your ass like Tootsie. You think I'm being pushy? I just had it up to here with people saying they gangsta but acting like they queer.
So I start the song like that, and I feel like that is hilarious. One of the best songs on that first project was Get Big. I was one of them dudes that would take whatever was being said, and I would just flip it. You feel like I would take it and make a song about it. I would mention it in a song. I would bring up the bullshit that you said in a song. That was my way of not attacking you about it. You know what I'm saying? That was my way of not sounding sensitive by attacking you about it. But once again, me being a hothead and wanting to say some shit to your ass, that was my way of working on myself. You know what I'm saying? Just put that shit in the song. So, you know, people be like, ah, man, that nigga joking. But it wasn't, most people liked what I was doing, but here and there, it would be, like even some people that was actually working out of the same studio with us, that was under the same umbrella, we were under the same label and all that shit, under the same management deal. They were like, yeah, I'm joking. Yo, I want to feature you on some Joker, but I'm not really sure how to use you yet. But when I find a song, you know, that'll fit you, then yeah, I'll let you, you know what I'm saying, jump on the track. Nigga, I can rap on anything. That's what these niggas didn't understand. They heard me rapping in a crazy voice, you know what I'm saying? Because the voice that I talk with is not the voice that you hear rapping. You feel me? So they would hear me rapping on shit, and they felt like I couldn't rap. I couldn't do nothing but crunk shit or wild and crazy shit. Nigga, I knew how to, they didn't know I was versatile. They had no idea. It's like they didn't know that shit. So I made a song, you know what I'm saying, called Funny Voices on the first project. Funny Voices was basically my answer to all the shit niggas was, you know, the little shit that people was doubting me about. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know about the nigga. I don't know about his voice. I don't know. Yeah, my style was crazy as fuck, but people was loving it. People was loving it. So, you know, I made Funny Voices, and that was just basically attacking all the little, you know what I'm saying, petty shit that I was hearing certain people say, certain people, you know, that was right around me saying this shit, and all that. Funny Voices was probably my favorite track out of the whole CD. Like I was like on a rampage, like all three verses. You know what I'm saying? That was probably one of the best songs on the whole damn album. That was my favorite by far.
Now, bitch, I'm not a boss. I'm an angry employee, and now I'm fucking shit up 'cause you niggas wanna fire me. Honestly, did you think that I would go quietly? Did you forget the real reason you niggers hired me? 'Cause my flow is fiery, something wicked inside of me. It's making me wanna write in my short Vella Bus diary. When I'm in the booth, I'm the motherfucking truth. When niggas go in after me, they be like, what's the use? I'm a force to be reckoned with, but niggas thinking they wrecking shit. Am I sure? Yes, I'm definite. Over my dick, you better get. You don't wanna see me on the mic, do you, buddy? I'll hit you with lyrical dick.
one thing that I used to do a lot on that I did a lot back in the day, and that I did a lot of on Welcome to the Circus, was I did a lot of like secret songs. I did like a lot of, I would do like a song within a song. So like the beats and shit would change up in the middle of the song and all that type of shit. I did a lot of shit like that. So I have one song called Kourt Jester / Joker's Revenge. I was actually like that song, like what I was gonna be rapping about on that particular part of the song, the Joker's Revenge part. I was gonna be rapping about, and it was kind of me breaking my rule of don't rap about you did this to a nigga, you did that. I was trying to be creative and rap in from the perspective of a school shooter. It was inspired by like the trench coat mafia, you know what I'm saying? The white dudes that shot up the school, like back in the day. It was inspired by them. It was basically me as the school shooter. It was kind of like, you know, I was getting picked on. Like I didn't get picked on in school like that, but it was like that's how I portrayed the character in the song. But it was through my eyes. So it was like a dude got picked on. So he come into school, started shooting up the school. And when he come into school, there was a pep rally going on. So he go into the pep rally and start shooting up the damn pep rally and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really on some crazy shit when I was recording Welcome to the Circus. Like I was on a whole another level of creativity when I recorded that project.
When I was a kid, you know, people was just crazy. And we separated the crazy kids from everybody else. Crazy kids had a little ass school bus, had that class down by the boiler room. They got out of school at 2:30, not 3 o'clock, just in case they wanted to kill somebody.
Oh my gosh, what have you done? You done pissed off Monica's son. Because of the fact you have no gun, I think since you run, you run. Oh my gosh, what have you done? You done pissed off Monica's son. Because of the fact you have no gun, I think since you run, you run. When you fuck with a boy on a short yellow bus, oh yeah, he'll come through busting. Killing motherfuckers every which way, cause he really ain't trying to aim at nothing. He got pissed at some niggas that wanted to diss, now they gotta suffer the repercussion. His homeboy say put the gun down, it's too late now, you can't tell him nothing. Jeepers creepers, look at his peepers, he's scaring the teachers. His eyes are green, he's braided up and he's wearing sneakers. With a black bandana around his head like he's the ghetto reaper. Got everybody at the pep rally, hiding up under the freaking bleachers. You thought he was dumb, you thought he was dense, you thought he was idiotic. Till he came to the school again, told you would send me automatic. Don't make you grab it, everybody better get on the freaking phone. The cafeteria lady said no, and she got turned to Sloppy Joe. I guess that's Sloppy home, never really met a killer common bone. Now she's splattered all over the dome, leaving a mess for mop and glow. I never seen so much bloody devastation in one location. By the time the school bell rings, his face will be on every station.
Like that shit, I mean, no matter what you may think about, you know the project as a whole, anything like that, the one thing I can still say 3 or 4 projects later is that is still my greatest accomplishment out of everything that I've done. Welcome to the Circus is hands down my greatest. It's crazy. You may listen to it and it don't give you a chance to breathe, and it's just a bunch of crazy ass, wild ass rapping and all that shit. But the creativity and the songs, like it's like from the intro to the outro, everything just blends together. It's just a bunch of craziness and wackiness, and it's a bunch of street shit, but it's a bunch of funny shit at the same time, a bunch of goofy shit, a bunch of intro, a bunch of like interludes, and there's a bunch of skits, and like that was my best effort still to this day. I done made way better songs, but that is the most creative that I've ever been on any project ever. I think that's gonna be the most creative. You know what I'm saying? The Young Joker was a fool. But I was moving on to my second project by this time, and Sideshow was the name of it. I was trying to change shit up a little bit. I was trying to calm myself down a little bit. You know, my style became a little more subdued. You know, I tried to calm down a little bit with the way I was spitting. Also, this was the project where you could hear, you could kind of, if you're really paying attention, my style changed during the project. The Sideshow, that shit had a way better mix job. I did a better job mixing that. The beat, I mean, everything was just more crisp, and everything was like, even the beats were just more mature. I say that it was like a more mature effort. Sideshow was dope because of that. Like it was, to me, Sideshow probably had the most single potential songs on it. The song I had on there called Doped Up. Definitely one of my favorite songs on Sideshow. That song was that damn cold. Like everything from the little interlude that came before it to the way the beat dropped and everything. Like everything about this shit.
Since I deliver dopeness, I guess I'm a dope dealer. In my community of the D, I am not a pillar. I put the nutty in nutty enough, and niggas know I'm a nutcase. Your girl Nisha nippled my knob, and now she's a nutface. She pulled me by my necktie and told I'm a hell of a guy. I can't lie, I am fly. Gonna be this way till the day I die.
Ooh, Joker, you stay laced.
Yeah, bitch, you got good taste. I met your chick on Facebook and she came on over to my space. So I hit her with that hard drive like a Mac deep in her PC. We caught everything on webcam. If you log on, even you can see. Me Google her Twitter, my toolbar between her tweets. Had her bouncing on my laptop until she fell asleep. There was skeets all over the window, 7 nuts in a row. Couldn't even wake her up, I computer love that hoe. She licked me on my spikes, saying, Joker, you the baddest. Next thing I know, she on Facebook trying to update her status, telling everybody I'm doped up.
On Sideshow, I had another song called Doze, Marble Flowz, right? So if you heard the Lil Troy song, Wanna Be a Baller, you know what I'm saying? It was that one part, Doze, Marble Flowz, naked hoes around me. So that was my favorite part, Doze, Marble Flowz, naked hoes around me. I was like, man, that shit go hard. So I was like, I'm finna do a song. I'm gonna make a song out of that. So I did Doze, Marble Flowz, and that beat was also on some Welcome to the Circus shit as well. The way I attacked the beat was Welcome to the Circus. So like I said, I had separated myself from Welcome to the Circus, but I still brought some of that same energy into Sideshow. A bunch of North Dallas rappers and shit, we had all linked up. North Dallas rappers, some Garland rappers, we had all linked up, and we created this whole alliance called NBA. You know what I'm talking about? So I had met the dude named Young C during the meetings and shit. I heard some of this shit, so me and that nigga, we kind of linked up, and he jumped on Doze, Marble Flowz, and then we created a jam.
From a cab to a slab, you can hate me all you wanna, but I've been swinging wide in my Chevy all summer. So fuck you and your Hummer, H2 and H3. I still feel like you lanes can't see me. I'm as fly as I can be in my LTZ. When I slide by your chick, she be like, oh goodness me, yeah, fresh to the T. So you like what you see, huh? Bet you kinda sorta wish your man was me, huh? Psych, he can never be. Wake up from your dream, ho. I'm the coldest thing that the world's ever seen, bro. Living in my photo, swinging on my sailors, talking to myself in the mirror, saying I'm the greatest. I'm a sack of hot potatoes, so ain't no haters touching me. If that chick ain't got no food stamps, she ain't fucking me. Luckily, I'm stuck with it. Swagger I was born with. I be on my paper chase, y'all be on that dumb shit. So all I want is.
And we was going, you know, we performed it a couple times, you know, and I made a video for it, and the video was completely animated.
Just like one another. Oh, brother, get your shit together. You're rapping a bunch of nonsense. Blah, 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 whatever. I am better, so much better than every rapper you know. Cause I make my own beats, and I got a cold flow. The beats
it was a situation one time when I got a phone call. I'm not gonna say who the call was from. You know, it was from somebody that's well known or whatever. Cool dude, cool as hell. But I remember him telling me, and this is one of those things that I tackled in funny voices. I remember him telling me, hey man, I see what you're doing, Joker. I see where you're going, man. I see what you're doing, man. And yeah, man, you gotta change up. You gotta do something about your style, man. You need to be more laid back, man. You need to rap, you know, some of that more laid back, had a cool voice, you know what I'm saying? That type of shit. That's what these niggas want to hear. Yeah, man, Joker, you need to change it up, yo. I see what you. And I'm like, okay. So then I went to the studio and I created a song called Whacktastic.
Hello?
Hey, what's up with it, Joker?
What's good?
Yeah, man, it's your boy, man. I just wanted to holler at you real quick just to give you a few tips, you know what I'm saying?
What?
I mean, I'm an artist and a producer too, you know, so I just wanted to give you a few tips, you know, nothing major.
Yeah, but
Now, I see what you're doing with this whole clown thing, you know, I get it, bro, I get it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I'm a fan, I love it.
cool,
But you need to change that shit up. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Simplify that shit. We need nursery rhymes. I mean, I'm a fan, I love what you do, but change all that shit up. Just change it up, nigga. Do it! Whacktastic! Totally! Whacktastic! So you motherfuckers want Joker to rap plastic, okay? Whacktastic! So whacktastic! The whole rap game got one foot off in the casket. Do it! I ain't fucking, bro. Fuck it. I done had enough of you niggas asking me for watered down stuff. Fuck it. Is this what you want? Is this what you need? Or should I sound a little whacker before I proceed? What is rapping plastic? Rapping fake. Spitting like somebody else for y'all to play my tape.
I remember going on this whole Facebook campaign, just scoring on females that was wearing these ugly ass lace fronts and shit. I remember at a point in time, like I was just really going hard on them, you know, just being a dick, pretty much. I mean, just being a jerk. I still do it every now and then because I hate a female. You gonna wear a wig, please make it look real. That was my whole thing back in the day. Like, make the wig look real if you gonna wear one. I remember I said, man, I'm gonna be stupid and I'm gonna make a song called Lace Front.
I have never paid for pussy, so I won't start now. If I get the milk for free, why the fuck would I buy the cow? They've been chucking coochie at me since the tender age of 6. I was a green-eyed yellow nigga, stingy with his dick. Now they see I'm on my shit, and these chicks done count the vapors.
Joker, I wanna have your baby.
Now you want me on them papers? Absolutely not. How the hell I look paying your rent? I believe Bart Simpson said it best. Eat my shorts and go get bent. Now in case you haven't heard, my wee game is vicious. Stick my worm out in that water just to feed you fishes.
Delicious.
Oh, I know it is. Imagine me giving you the biz. Bounce on that, let me hit it from the back and skeet all over your wig. I go hard in the paint. Try me if you think I can't. Ain't no need trying to take my bank. You can try that too if you wanna get shanked. Fuck what you heard, better leave me alone. When I get my nut, I'ma go get gone. Thinking I'ma get your phone cut back on. Somebody that told you wrong. Pardon me, miss. I don't mean to be blunt, but all I wanna do is sweat you out your lace front.
Lace Front ended up being probably my second favorite song on that whole CD. I felt like that song was ridiculously stupid, but that shit was jamming like a bitch. I mean, I'm talking about some shit that you don't really hear no other rapper talking about. You know what I'm saying? Once again, a typical Joker thing to do. And I rap about a wig. I rap about females and they wigs. Bro, that was shit was the hell is up. This is how I created my style. This is how I became who I am, bro. This shit is crazy as hell. And it's crazy because the thing about it is when I started doing Green Eye Joker and Friends, the little cartoon shit, I originally said I was gonna do that just to kind of help me promote some of my music, just a different way to promote music and shit. So it was kind of like, I always looked at it like, you know, like back in the day, like you knew you had made it as an artist or as an actor or whatever it was, and you had your own cartoon show. You know what I'm saying? Like I came from an era where you was major if you had your own cartoon show. Like niggas like Kid and Play, MC Hammer, the Jackson 5. I didn't come from that era, but I like the Jackson 5 a lot. It's probably my favorite group. the Jackson 5, you know what I'm saying, the Beatles, you know what I'm saying, all of these people had their own cartoon show, New Kids on the Block, back in the day, like all of them. So I was like, man, you know, when I was a kid, I used to be like, damn, I want to get big enough to where they give me my own cartoon show one day, or whatever, but that type of thing then kind of like faded out a little bit, so it's kind of like, well, I'm just gonna put it upon myself to go ahead and just do my own little cartoon, just bullshit.
Do you boys have any idea why I pulled you over?
To protect and serve?
Because you got big old cop nuts?
Because we fit a description?
Because I'm a black man living in a white world. Know what I'm talking about?
Well. Look at what we have here. You must be the one piece of white chocolate in a whole box full of nigger candy.
Welcome to my house. Make yourself at home.
Well, I guess it's time for me to get on out of here. It's getting late.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Bet they won't come outside with that bullshit.
As I kept doing them, then they became funnier and funnier, and they became a little better and shit, and then people started kind of noticing and, you know, making little comments like, man, this shit should be on Adult Swim or something like that. And I was like, yeah, it is kind of that kind of weird, you know what I'm saying, animation, kind of weird cartoon type shit that probably would be on something like that, but I was never doing it seriously. You know what I'm talking about? It was just some shit that I was just doing just to have fun, and I like to draw.
Got nothing but love for you, baby.
Shut the fuck up.
One of the things that I wanted to do with the last project, the Short Yellow Bus Diaries, is I wanted to make that mashup of kind of the elements from Welcome to the Circus, which was, you know, like I said, the first project that I put together, and then I wanted to take elements from that and then elements from Sideshow and put it all together. You know what I'm saying? To me, Welcome to the Circus was the most creative piece of work that I did. Like the whole thing, like just from start to finish, it's just a real creative effort. You know what I'm talking about? So shit, I want to take that, and then I want to take Sideshow, which to me Sideshow was the most commercial effort that I put together. You know what I'm saying? That one to me had the most songs that you would probably hear on the radio, or you know what I'm saying? It was simplistic. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna hear some real evolution in what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can try to see if I can send y'all out with something. Let me try to see what I can, you know what I'm saying, see what kind of shit I can produce. Give y'all a little sample or something. I just take this little sample. You may recognize it.